Welcome back, and you've tuned into the Bellingham Podcast for the week of September 29, 2019. This is episode 131. Yes, I know it's been a few weeks, but from that city by the Salish Sea, I am still AJ Barce.
Oh, and wait a minute. Let me get a toothpick out of my mouth. I'm Chris Powell. On this episode, out on the road today, I saw a deadhead sticker on a Cadillac. A little voice inside my head said, "You know, Chris, you and AJ should do a show on Bellingham's food truck culture." I thought I knew what street food was. What did I know? Those days are gone forever. I should just let them go, but right now, lovers of mobile grub, you're listening to the Bellingham Podcast.
Well, I should say, how have you been, Chris?
I've been pent up, locked up, caged up. I'm so happy to get back on the stick. How are you, AJ?
Good. So,
did you catch the hook?
No, I caught the.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Dude, I am not a hipster like you, yo. I don't know these
How can
things.
Don Henley be a hipster?
Well, I know Don. Well, okay.
The boys of summer have gone.
Oh,
got
got it.
There's
Don
a
Henley.
multiple layer from my hooks in this
Yes,
show.
I know, and it's hard to peel back because sometimes you make me weep like an onion.
Drink more caffeine. Anyway, welcome back. How were things?
Good. So previously on episode 130, what turned into just a scheduling nightmare between you and I both caught the last fleeting glimpse of summer, and we did our family vacations, and then life happened, and there was some stuff. So we apologize that we were off the mic for so long, but we had to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, a message Bellingham at BellinghamPodcast.com email for a money back guarantee on the time that we weren't available. Anyway, appreciate y'all still subscribing to us. For the four of you that are left, welcome back. But anyway, let's talk about food trucks.
I love food and I love trucks.
Yes, and combine them together, it's a tasty opportunity.
Yeah, so in the city of subdued excitement, we have a budding, growing onslaught. Of food trucks.
Absolutely,
like something that is very quaint and hip and well known in the Portland area. What's up, PDX?
Hello, Portland.
I mean, Bellingham has been on the rise with for several years now. So much so, we got a rodeo.
Indeed. So depending on when you listen to this, thanks for listening. But at the time of recording, there is an upcoming event on Saturday, September 28th at the Barkley Village Green. It's a Bellingham Food Truck Fest.
It's a rodeo.
Yes, exactly. They over 25, I believe, food trucks will be circling the wagons, if you will. And people need to get tickets because when you get a ticket to get in, you get truck bucks. Watch me enunciate.
Yes. Truck bucks.
That's right. And you can, so for a plate of chow, you can give 7, 8 truck bucks.
Sure.
And so you get a decent amount, and then you get a wonderful sampling of what cuisine is available. My wife and I went to this one last year and had a dilly of a time. It was really cool. Live music, lots of cool people around, and you get a chance to peruse some trucks that you may not necessarily notice on your daily travels.
And also what's kind of cool about our town is a lot of our food trucks, or some of our food trucks, I should say, not a lot, but some of our food trucks are actually attached to formal restaurants.
Yes.
So this is like their outreach food wagon, as it were. You know,
the OFW.
Yeah, exactly. The OFW.
That's
OMG,
right.
yo.
You down with OFW? I am.
I am.
Yeah.
So what's cool about this is, for instance, a lot of these food trucks that we'll talk about, their predominant restaurant may be in downtown Bellingham, but for those of you on the guide.
Or Whatcom County.
Those of you out in the guide or out in Ferndale, this is how these grub mobiles are able to kind of promote the restaurant, and that we don't have to go all the way into town.
You just had $1 million idea for a Grubmobile.
Grubmobile.
When I'm done being a technologist, I'm going to open up a food truck called the Grubmobile. What kind of food am I going to serve? It doesn't matter. I'm going to serve whatever the heck I want.
Dude, we could even have a Disney hook. I could be Timon, you could be Pumbaa, the Grubmobile. Get it?
That's a definite possibility.
My wife might have squeed on that joke.
We might need to talk about that one in the future sometime. Should the technology business get a little bit too much for us to contend with. Anyway, hey, guess what, Mr. Peabody? Let's go back in the Wayback Machine to talk about the history of quote-unquote food trucks.
10 years ago?
Let's go back further.
20 years ago?
Let's go back much further.
100 years ago?
Let's go back to 1691.
Hot dog!
Something like that. Naturally, on the Bellingham podcast, for those of you who've listened for quite a while, you're familiar that we go back and do some research because we like to provide factual information there, Narmi. Did you know, back in 1691, there's a town called New Amsterdam, which is actually now known as New York City, yeah. 1691, they began regulating street vendors selling food from push carts. That's the start of a food truck in America.
Right.
Let's fast forward a couple centuries because, it's kind of like Bill and Ted's phone booth. Let's go back in history.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. So in 1866, right after the Civil War, there's a thing called a chuck wagon invented by Charles Goodnight.
Even better.
Yes. And Mr. Goodnight, Chuck, if you will, wanted to feed cattlemen and wagon trains. Back then, they didn't have Ubers. They had wagon trains traversing the Old West. So here's your entrepreneurial juices flowing way back in the 19th century.
Good on you, Chuckums.
Indeed. So that was 1866. And then right before the turn of the century back then, which would be the 19th century, 1894, sausage vendors. So you may have read Upton Sinclair's The Jungle, talking about the sausage industry the way back in that classic novel. Sausage vendors in 1894 would sell their wares. Is sausage a ware, AJ?
Maybe, I guess.
Let's call it their food.
Okay, their thing. It's a thing.
Yes. Sausage vendors would sell their food outside student dorms at major Eastern universities, Ivy League style, like Yale, Harvard, Princeton, and Cornell. Pinky firmly planted in the air. And
their sausage.
Well, what are you going to do when you're a college student and you're hungry?
It's a beautiful mind and it's a beautiful sausage.
That's right. And their carts were known as, quote, dog wagons.
Even better.
Of course. So I took care of the early days of some of the highlights of food truck or mobile food vending. AJ, take care of the 20th century for us.
So 20th century, we have 1917. So we fast forward from Harvard, Yale, and Cornell to the U.S. Army. So the U.S. Army has mobile canteens or field kitchens. And this was the way that they were able to bring food to the troops.
Yes.
Then if we fast forward about another 20 or so years, we actually get a piece of Americana, okay?
Here it comes.
1936. And I swear if you start whistling, I'm going to stop recording.
I can't whistle, so I'm not going to.
Okay, good.
No problem.
Well, Oscar Mayer.
Yes.
Okay, the little hot dog whistle.
I know that one.
Oscar Mayer rolls out with their first portable hot dog cart, also known as the Weiner Mobile.
Yeah, this is the first face palm of marketing that I can recall in history.
But man, talk about people have an affection for the Weiner Mobile.
Yeah,
I don't, for the record.
Neither do I, but there is an emotional tie to
a piece of great marketing
and a wacky looking vehicle on the road.
Very wacky.
Continue, please.
Have you seen the Weiner Mobile in real life?
Yes.
Same here.
Yeah. Moving on.
So let's fast forward a couple more decades. We've got 1950s, no specific time frame, but we start to see ice cream trucks beginning to sell frozen treats.
Ice cream!
Yeah, and cue that wonderful music.
The same, or I wish I was in Dixie. Hooray, hooray. Yeah, that same song, every ice cream truck.
Everywhere.
We've heard it before. Yep. It's like a Pavlovian reaction.
Exactly.
So,
and immediately you're just like, I need to spend $7 on an ice cream cone. Yeah. So we've got 1974. Raul Martinez converted an ice cream truck into our nation's, U.S., first taco truck and parked it outside of East Los Angeles Bar.
Yeah. So here's a way you get to take an institution and hack it.
So I mean, if you think about it, Raul is just building off of what? Chuck?
Yeah. Mr. Goodnight, if you will.
Mr. Goodnight.
Yes.
Props on you, Mr. Martinez and Mr. Goodnight. And then we fast forward all the way to the good old year of July of 2006, where Wikipedia formally adds the words food truck. into their list of entries, including the history of food trucks around the world. Courtesy of all of this is brought to you by history.com.
Yes, exactly. We got a little bit more information in our show notes. For the love of Lemmy Kilmister, drink
from a food truck.
That's right. So it's always good to know where we came from as we're approaching where we are and where things might be headed.
Granted, like some of you are probably thinking, New Amsterdam, 1691. I'm pretty sure the Romans were probably pulling a cart. Well, yeah, but we don't have any specific dates.
Hey, it's a 30-minute show. We can go on for hours about this stuff, but here's a little quick synopsis.
Exactly.
Yeah, speaking of, quick synopsis, we are blessed to be also syndicated by community-powered KMRE 102.3 FM.
And also streaming online at kmre.org.
That's right. They air our show Mondays at 6:30 p.m. and Thursdays at 6 p.m. should you all want to listen on the terrestrial radio here in Bellingham, 102.3 FM.
And if you are tuning into us in your vehicle, whether it's a food truck or not, thank you.
Thank you. And keep both hands on the wheel. Moving on.
Moving on.
AJ Barce.
Chris Powell.
You are back from time, and I know that you're starting to get a little salivated.
Oh, yes.
Where around Bellingham or Whatcom County are your favorite food trucks to patronize?
Okay, so I'm going to, because you said Pavlov, and it's just that one thing about the dee. Sugar Shack.
Sugar Shack. Tell me more.
Sugar Shack is the quintessential, cutest, oh my god, ice cream truck that I have seen in a long time. It's bright colors. It's like orange, turquoise, and white. At the time that I saw them, they were in our neck of the woods even.
Yes.
Over the summer, and very nice young lady who was driving and operating this truck. Tasty snacks all around with ice cream sandwiches, popsicles, whatever. And ever since we made that just little joke, I really want an ice cream cone.
Well, since the 1950s, when the anachronistic or the evergreen ice cream truck has been around suburban neighborhoods.
Yep.
Yeah, Sugar Shack, they got it going on.
Yeah.
And some of these events, I noticed in some cases, Elizabeth Park concert series.
Yep.
The Sugar Shack may make an appearance for the kiddos to get sugared up.
Dude, even in not even past Ferndale, Blaine. I was up at Blaine for the Pirate Days.
Yes.
And they were up there. They're everywhere.
So one cannot exist on sugar alone.
No.
What
unfortunately.
other food trucks do you enjoy?
So I gotta pour one out. The Rickshaw.
Yes, the Rickshaw. We miss the...
Oh, the Rickshaw. So the Rickshaw was this great Asian fusion bowl place that was down off of State Street?
It was on State Street back in the day.
Yeah, and then they had a food truck. And also Chris and myself probably had way too many punch cards when they
helped keep them afloat for a while.
Yeah. But unfortunately, they're on our list, and it's on several lists on Bellingham's websites and stuff. We got to pour one out. They're not around, and they've even shut down their Facebook page and stuff, which was a shame. But I gotta say, the Rickshaw, we kept them afloat for a really long time.
It was a great place, but So for me, I enjoy a particular food truck. My wife actually married one.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Hot Mess. Yeah, because I am, ladies and gentlemen, a hot mess. And to have a sandwich from there is a greasy... It's horrible for those who were raised to have the correct dining table etiquette. However, it's good.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, they're usually on James Street in Bellingham. Keep your eyes peeled, but also watch the cars and the pedestrians around James Street, because that road is a nightmare in Bellingham.
Oh, completely.
Around rush hour and other times as well. So
a food truck for me that's still in operation.
Yes.
Burrito King.
Oh, yes.
Dude, Burrito King. So Burrito King actually has, fun fact, if you ask most people in this town, they think Burrito King as the food truck, or students know them up on Western's campus. They actually do have a little restaurant. It's down
off 32nd Street.
32nd Street, around that area.
Sam's.
Yep,
Yeah.
in the Starvin' Sam's, and that's actually their storefront. I accidentally found that out because I needed to find some Burrito King, and the Google pointed me there. So I was able to save my wife's belly and get a burrito from both their food truck, which you'll see parked out there, or around Whatcom County, but also they have a storefront down there.
And thanks very much for taking care of your wife's gut.
Oh yes, best burritos, burritos.
I am a fan of sometimes my family will go when we don't feel like cooking or we're with our relatives. We just want to get a darn quesadilla. And there's a place called AK Tacos.
AK.
If you're Merkin, it's AQUE tacos, but the location varies, but they do have some really good Mexican foods for you to be able to enjoy. And I'm just a fan. If you keep your eyes peeled for AK. Also, I'm down with La Gloria.
Oh, yeah, La Gloria is good.
Oh, it's good stuff. Well, they got their main store on Meridian Street, kind of near Westerly, around People's Bank, in that store that is really lame, that talks about people in love on Meridian Street.
Okay. I was like, what are you talking about? Oh,
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so a big fan of that. But should you go to the Bellingham Food Truck Fest, you're going to have a whole lot more to choose from. I think last year there was one called Sage. Keep your eye peeled for a truck called Sage. They had some really tasty friggin' food. Wait, got to keep this clean. No, I really enjoyed the Sage food truck. They're good stuff. So we have some information. If you wanted to just check out some more resources about what your type of food cuisine might entail, BellinghamFoodTrucksPlural.com will take you to a site that is kind of like a list of what's going on around our county and our city.
Totally. So outside, because you and I gravitate towards the Mexican food trucks.
Oh, yeah.
What other food trucks would you? I mean, other than Hot Mess, because you are one.
Yes.
What other? I mean, we've got other food trucks out there. We've got, like I said, we did have the rickshaw under the Asian and fusion style barbecue trucks. Do you have a good barbecue recommendation?
I'm gonna go with my homie JT's Smoking Barbecue. No, I don't know JT. We're not friends, but I always say my homie. I'm definitely a fan of some of the pulled pork.
Yeah. Good brisket.
Yes, and when I have the barbecue urge, I'll throw down a tenner on some of this. And oh, by the way, public service announcement from the Bellingham podcasts: when you're ordering food from a food truck, tip yo food truck people. It's a way to show some love and help them out to sustain their business and keep them continuing on in this wonderful preparing food for us in a mobile aspect. So, throw a couple bucks in the tip jar when you get your food.
Completely.
But I'm down with JT's. How about you? Is there a barbecue joint around you enjoy?
Yeah, I was gonna say JT's. Okay, so that's what we've got for those that love to take on animals of the flesh. What about some vegan options? Do you know of any?
I am not quite familiar with the vegan side, although I'm not opposed to it. We should probably check with our friend Vegan in Bellingham,
Sub Clarissa,
to be able to get some insight into what's going on.
But the reason why I throw that out is because, we hit on Mexican and we're hitting on barbecue, but there are some food trucks that are dedicated to those that are veggie forward or vegan,
diet conscious.
Yes.
Something to consider as you are getting your plate of awesome from a particular food vendor, you may be offered or see a container of plastic silverware. Allow me to submit to you that if you were to purchase a set of bamboo utensils, they come in a nice little sheath. What a great way to have some mobile silverware cutlery or other types that you would be able to have with you at all times, easy to wash, and then you stick it in your glove compartment whenever you go. You don't have to be resorted to knifing a plastic knife to try to saw through whatever. Well, you know what I'm saying.
No, you know what? Please do not resort to knifing in this town.
Yeah, we want to keep Bellingham clean. But at least check out some bamboo cutlery or utensils that you might be able to find on any online website of your choice, or perhaps maybe community food co-op.
I am going to call out this town, Chris.
Oh, please do.
Because I'm sorry. In my truck, I actually carry the same backpacking utensils that I bring out in my REI bag when I hit the mountains. It's made by Columbia. I'll put a link in the show notes.
For the love of Phil Campbell, drink.
And it's got a fork, it's got a spoon, it's got a knife, and then it splits into two so that you can have a knife and a spoon or a knife and fork. Look, all my backpacking homies out there, we got no excuse. If you want to be more eco-centric, we've got all the tools. Get it out of the tub and keep it in your rig when you're out in the streets.
And less that you would be tossing away from plastic silverware in addition to your paper plate, perhaps.
Word.
Yes, exactly.
So, okay, so we've got those for the meat-centric, the non-meat-centric. We cannot harp enough on the awesome Mexican we got in this town. Pizza.
Yes. You know, I'm down with Goat Mountain.
Yeah, you and I are the same way.
Did we both mutually pick that one? Yeah, I'll go on this one. Goat Mountain downtown on Holly Street is a really... They take some care in creating their pizza.
And it's a solid slab of pizza. It's tall.
It's substantial.
It is oofda.
Oofda indeed, depending on what nationality you're from. They do have a pizza wagon that would be in various locations. Unfortunately, you can't hold them to just one location.
Yeah.
But keep your eye peeled. They are worth the stop and worth the time when you get that hunger.
So let me ask you this. There's one on our list that I got to know if you've tried.
Try me.
Waffle Stop.
Nope.
I gotta... So that one I want to find out more about because I'm always down for a late night waffle.
So it looks like it's on Champion Street, Waffle Stop, WAFL, which could be like a television station on the East Coast. But
you've tuned into WAFL.
Little known fact.
Yeah.
All TV stations west of the Mississippi have K, and all TV stations east of the Mississippi have W. By the way, who watches TV stations anymore? It's all on Netflix and Apple TV and Amazon and Hulu right now.
TV, what is that?
Yeah, exactly.
How do they stream?
Anyway, WAFL Stop on Champion Street, Belgian waffles.
Yeah, I just love the fact that there's one category for Belgian, and there is.
Yes, exactly. So I think we pretty much covered a whole lot of options available for Bellingham and Whatcom County.
So, Chris Powell, let me put you on the mic.
Oh, dear.
Out of all of the awesomeness that is in this town, what is one place you desperately wish they had a food truck?
I desperately wish, and this is my $1 million idea, in case I decide to throw up my hands and go, forget the technology business, I'm opening my food truck. I'm going to hire a sushi chef par excellence, and I'm going to have... I don't know, Mongo Sushi. That's a great name.
No. Sushi roll.
Sushi roll. Rolling sushi, something like that. Anyway, I wish there would be a sushi food truck in Bellingham, Whatcom County, because the way I'd have it is you've got the rice. That's great. You can have, the sticky rice is awesome. The kelp, seaweed, nori rolls that you roll things up.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to be careful about the raw materials.
Right.
But 3 or 4 choices. I don't want to have 20 choices of the cutely named rolls. Give me a California roll.
Word.
Give me a spicy tuna.
Make a Bellingham roll.
A Bellingham roll or a Yo Mama roll, which has all the stuff from, just have 3 or 4 selections, $6 for a roll of 8 pieces, and you're on your way.
Dude, make that a thing. That should be your side hustle to your side hustle of the hustle.
That's right. It's a hustle cube.
That's good. I have not thought about a sushi truck.
I think the turnaround might not be that bad, but if you get a long line, that could be something, that's the thing about lines and waiting for your food and such. AJ, what would you want to see in Bellingham?
So mine is actually a shout out. So as much as I love all of these restaurants, not all of them have, they may have storefronts, but not all of them have Meals on Wheels, right?
Right.
So in today's technological age, there's this thing called Uber Eats and stuff.
Yes.
I would like to point out that in our town, we had something that predated Uber Eats, and that's Viking Foods.
Uh-huh.
I would like to throw them a shout out because, one, I have patronized their service several times, especially when I was in the early days of daddyhood, and I needed a burger, and I needed it to my house.
Yes.
They have an app on iOS and I believe Android as well. But any of the vast majority of the storefronts that are in our town, if you need to get food, use their app, give them a holler, and I think it's like $4 or something like that is their delivery charge for most of the Bellingham area.
The convenience cost for getting the food when you want it.
Exactly. But no, there's recently in our travels there's a lot of new upstart non-local technology companies that are getting into this, and I like to give Viking Foods a shout out because they kind of predated all of them.
Absolutely, and local. Bellingham style.
Yep.
And give them a little bit of love.
Yep. But on there, the reason why I point them out is because Wild Oat Bakery, which is our vegan bakery.
Okay.
Again, I'm going to throw a shout out to our vegan listeners.
Absolutely.
They don't have a food truck, but they are on Viking Foods. So if you, honey, are really desperate for that chocolate cake of awesomeness, which Chris Powell, one of these days we're going to have to record from Wild Oat, and you will have to taste this tasty, delectable, it's vegan cake. They have this chocolate cake that is to die for.
Let's give that a try sometime this season on the Bellingham podcast.
As we get into the hygge season.
Yes.
See what I did
think
there?
so.
See what I did there?
Along those lines of trying different types of food, this is going way off track and way off our schedule.
Welcome back.
Yes. During our 2 or 3 weeks of being off the stick, I tried an Impossible Burger.
Let's get into this.
Well, proceed with caution. So I decided going through the drive-through at, wait for it, Burger King.
Did the same thing.
Okay, you did. Okay.
Yeah, my wife did. We took a night, and there was a coupon in the local mailer where it's just like you buy an Impossible, you get a Whopper for free or something like that.
So I went down with, my wife and I were in the car, and it's just one of those things, and there was an Impossible Burger, and I'm like, okay, I got to try this. So it does not have any meat product. Or did not come from an animal. It is made of something.
Vegetables and other emollients that please do check the listings because there are some allergens in there for some folks.
And in the drive-thru, I was told that it might take a little while longer because their specific grill that they grill these Impossible Burgers on, there was some kind of backup or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't mind waiting.
No.
That's fine. So that tells me that they're not grilling it on the same grill as the other typical beef products. So cool. Son of a gun.
You can't tell the difference, could you?
I couldn't.
No, it's that Whopper flavor, whatever that extract is that they put on it. That's all it tastes like to me.
It's a Whopper extract.
Well, the Whopper doesn't taste like a burger to me. It just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I swear they must put something in it on top of it or whatever that makes that flavor.
Well, stay tuned, folks. You heard it here first, or at least somewhat first. The synthetic meat, like
alternative to meat.
That's a good way.
Because synthetic meat sounds like we're 3D printing meat to me. Let's not alter carbon this, okay?
No, but I do want to say, I think I honor everyone who has a non-meat diet, some type of situation that they have where they can't do that, and good on you. But when you feel like a burger from the days of your youth, what a great opportunity to try something. And you can kind of hang socially if everyone's going to go get some fast food. That Impossible Burger was frighteningly accurate.
The Impossible Burger, they're Impossible and Beyond. My wife has had both, and basically they're interchangeable. It's just, I think it comes down to like I was joking with the whole BK thing is like seasoning, flavoring, right? Like most of the time when you buy a burger, especially here in the Pacific Northwest, when it's Grill Fest, there is like a almost religious rite for those that prepare their patty. You know what I'm saying? Like some people put herbs in them, some people put like hickory and stuff. It's not just a plain burger anymore. So with that said, if it is just a method to bring tasty to the mouth, does it have to be meat?
Boy, that's an interesting question. We should probably pursue sometime on a future episode. Until then, let's stick a fork in the show.
A fork? Really?
Or a spork.
A spork? Really?
That's better.
That wraps up for this edition of the Bellingham Podcast. Thank you again so much for putting up with Chris and I, wherever you like to get our podcast.
You know you love us.
Oh, man, it's been great. Remember, if you are in the Bellingham area, you might be tuning into us terrestrially on
Community Power KMRE 102.3 FM and streaming worldwide
on KMRE.org. It's been great to get back with you, Chris. I'm AJ Barce.
And I'm Chris Pell. Thanks once again for joining us on the Bellingham Podcast. With all this food that we're eating, we need some kind of tasty beverage to wash it down with. Let's talk about that in October.
Ooh, October.